Okay. I'm Mike Mathews. I've worked at Brewer Science for 24 years now. Before Brewer Science, I worked in the plastic industry for 9 years. So that was a whole different kind of manufacturing, but really manufacturing is all the same thing. It's a series of activities to make something and get it out the door. And you have all kinds of things you got to deal with in regards to safety, quality, whatever it takes to meet the customer's needs at the end of the day. Uh, I've as far as different jobs I've done in manufacturing, I've been a shift foreman. I've been a uh, uh, so I've been a shift foreman. I've been a process engineer for the whole facility. Uh, my education was in safety, so I've had many jobs in industrial safety, uh, both in the plastics and here at Brewer. Uh, I've managed the facilities activities, uh, been involved with the logistics teams and in manufacturing. So I think that's about all the stuff. There's so many different things you can do in manufacturing that where you're not just stuck on one particular thing. There's so many different things. Quality, safety, environmental becomes such a big thing anymore. Uh, you got your technicians, you got your frontline workers, uh, you got different levels of management. If that's something you want to get into, anywhere from a supervisor to a plant manager. Everything in there is wide open. At Brewer, I mean, this is a high technology type manufacturing atmosphere. So you've got all kinds of different layers of quality where you're different applications where you're actually running machines that are high tech microscopes that are multi-million-dollar pieces of equipment where you're figuring out trying to debug the products you're making to make sure that it's going to meet the customer's needs when it gets there. Uh, all kinds of there's various things like that. The engineers, wow, this place right here would not run without engineers. And it's for you can be a degreed engineer, you can be an engineering technician where you're working with uh, an engineer. Those got some of that you might need some education with. A lot of it can be taught on the job. The different layers of manufacturing techs based on your knowledge where a high school diploma will get you quite a ways even here at Brewer. But the Brewer also offers educational opportunities where if you want to take that next step, you don't have to, but if you want to, so you can increase where you can go up the ladder in the company, and with going up the ladder, bigger wages and other opportunities. So there's lots of things you can do.
So I'm Ryan Buschjost. Been with Brewer Science 25 years. I'm currently the supply chain, logistics, and inventory planning manager. Basically, in that role, I'm planning and scheduling production in our facility, working with the logistics groups in terms of receiving inbound raw materials, also with the groups arranging for the shipment and of finished products out to our customers, managing and working with all the individuals who move that material from the warehouse areas to the manufacturing floor so that it can be converted into products and then back to the warehouse for storage prior to shipment. Also working with the group of individuals who interface with our customers to take the orders, put those into our computer planning system that drive our demand through our system, which in turn then generates recommendations for procurement of raw materials and what needs to be produced, how much we need to be making, when we need to be making it, and then coordinating that with our manufacturing work teams and manufacturing management team, so they can coordinate and schedule the production equipment and the manpower to get it done, and along with our process engineering group, so they can support the standard production and any qualification special production runs to support customer requests. So my background prior to coming to Brewer, education is from here in Rolla at Missouri S&T as a chemical engineer. First job was with a large beverage and food manufacturer in St. Louis. Then came to work at Brewer Science. At Brewer, I've held multiple roles, from being a process engineer, interfacing with R&D, developing new materials, new products, managed the small-scale production area in developing and transferring materials from R&D scale up to manufacturing scale, managed the manufacturing area for a period of time, and then moved into the production scheduling and warehouse and logistics.
My name is Jim Korich. I'm the engineering systems manager here at Brewer Science. My team and my department support the standard manufacturing in the daily activities, and one of the other things we get to do, as is our goal is to make manufacturing and the lives of the people making our product easy. We're supposed to do everything we can so that they can do their job effectively and efficiently. So we get to do a lot of fun things in regards to that. We get to be creative. We get to make improvements and support those guys and gals with what they do on a daily basis. We get to build equipment that we use to manufacture our product. The engineering that goes into that is a lot of fun. So we support our manufacturing department to make their lives easy. That's kind of our goal. A little bit of my background. I spent 21 years in manufacturing, most of it here in Rolla, Missouri, making small engines. I got to start off as a design engineer. Then I was quality manager for a stint, and then I ran a die cast and a flywheel machining department. And then when I came to Brewer Science, I come in as a process engineer. And so I was on the floor helping the manufacturing team, make their life easy. And that's since then I've become the engineering systems manager, where we got the manufacturing group and our controls and our programming group as well.
My name is Jeremy Light. I'm the senior manufacturing manager here at Brewer Science. I've been here about almost 21 years now, about 20 and a half years. So my role here is to manage all the manufacturing and production needs that go on at Buschjost and Rolla. I have about four supervisors, or team leads we call those, that I supervise, and a total of 21 people in our group that manufacture the product here that goes out to our customers. Before this, I worked at a small engine company, just like Jim said, at Briggs & Stratton. Worked there for about 4 years as well. So most of my life has been in the manufacturing world. A little stint of my time off, I went to college and got my degree in criminal justice. But manufacturing kind of was where my life was and what I like to do. So I kind of came back into it when got a position open at Brewer. So I've been in manufacturing at Brewer Science the whole time. So it's just kind of been my livelihood and just my and I like to see people grow in it and see different types of people come into the environment, and they just, everybody I've seen, for the most 99% of them, have just loved it. And we try to teach that manufacturing is growing in the United States, and just you can continually grow through that. And I've went to other facilities and kind of listened to that, those trademarks and those benchmarking and seeing those companies how they've grown too as well, and kind of taking those ideas and bring those back to Brewer to become a world-class facility like we are now. You know, I've hired. We talk about the different kind of people that can work at Brewer, and the different differences that we make in our manufacturing world. I've hired people that are out of like construction trade that have never touched any type of this type of manufacturing, and now they're flourishing for what they do here. Just car salesmen, just different type of jobs that they have never done manufacturing. And then we've started to hire some people from other manufacturing sites. I'd say around the 100-mile, 50-mile radius, but have a little bit of background in manufacturing, but obviously nothing that Brewer does. But it's interesting to see the different array of work ethics that we have for the culture that they worked in before, whether it be in manufacturing or in just a trade or something like that. So that we have a very obviously in our manufacturing facility compared to some of the folks that just come to work for us a few months ago. Our site is very clean. We talk about it. Everybody thinks it's assembly like work, like you said, Loretta. This is not just assembly type of work. Matter of fact, we are nothing like that. It is more of a process type of steps that you do. We interact with quality. We interact with our shipping, with our process engineers. So our techs here have a lot of time to be able to do a lot of different things, and also we empower them to make changes within manufacturing, with their teams and what they do. So it's not just they're just coming to work and just doing a job and going home. They're actually making a difference here for the customer or themselves and what they do, and then any of their peers in the company they work with. So it's just not a dirty job all the time. We don't want to scare people away and scare young people away thinking they're going to come to a hot environment or a dirty work environment. I want them to know that things have changed in the last several years and things are getting better. I feel like as the United States grows into more of a manufacturing type of set. So that's pretty much a wrap of what I do and how I became involved with manufacturing and why I think it's important and why I think we need to continue to grow manufacturing and the growth for anybody that wants to get into the work is the sky's the limit. I mean, they can just go anywhere they want to go. So we give that opportunity here at Brewer too as well. To do many things they want to do. Even if just recently, example, we have a guy that's worked for us for almost 20 years and decided to do a little change of venue and go over to the engineering department at work. So he wasn't upset or anything. He just wanted something more challenging for him to do. So that's an opportunity that we give here that's pretty awesome, I thought. So that's pretty much what goes on here.
One of the things that I think is interesting, the portfolio of careers that are represented on this panel, these are positions that you might find at many manufacturing companies around the country or even around the world. You're going to need leadership and people that can direct other people and look at how you can make things better for the customer and for the employees and for the product. And so the people that are represented in this panel get a chance to see firsthand what's going on with the product and how that's going to impact the customer and the process on farther down the line. And I know several of you have been at other manufacturing facilities. You've done audits, or have interacted with customers that have come in to audit us. Can you share some of the things that customers look at with manufacturers? Whenever a customer comes in to talk to a manufacturer, what are some of the things that customers say are important to them whenever you're making a product for them?
Well, my answer would be, from what I've seen from my side of it, is the quality of the product, the cleanliness of our facility. Obviously, for what we make and what we do, when our customers come in, they want to make sure that our facility is clean, that we're following processes and things like that. They want to see that end result, that quality result. So that's a couple of the biggest ones that come to my mind when a customer comes in.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think what I've seen over the years is really an evolution of that manufacturing mentality. I think you look back 30, 40 years ago, manufacturing was that, dirty, hot, stand at this machine and just do this repetitively. What we've seen and what our customers have, came back and said that they really appreciate and respect about our process and how our process has grown is that training and that evolution of the technicians doing the job, and that expectation for those people to be very detail oriented, to follow processes, as Jeremy said, and to have that responsibility of calling out when they see something that's not the way it should be. So that responsibility of the manufacturing technician on the floor, I think, has grown over the last several years. I think a lot of their responsibilities in terms of, as Jeremy and Jim both mentioned, being involved in making those improvements, finding ways to make the process better, to make it faster, easier, more efficient. I've really seen that expand over the last few years.
Yeah, and to take it to expound on both those comments, we employ Lean and 5S, and Jeremy's been a big champion in that area for manufacturing. And both, I have been an auditor. You know, I've gone out and audited customers, and of course we are audited here as well. But one of the things I look for is when you see a program where of Lean and 5S, where they're keeping, you know, very organized shop floor, very clean, and everybody's following that process, that translates into their product, right? And if we're paying enough attention and doing a good job keeping our stuff in order and our stuff clean on our shop floor, that all translates down through that. And you know, we empower our employees to, you know, make those changes and do those functions.
Yeah, lean is a culture. It's a way of life for manufacturing. It never stops. It's always moving forward. It's always going on. You think that one year you're done with it, but you're always digging up something new. That's when you start entitling your people to come up with these ideas and teaching them the culture. So it's basically a culture and how you run your manufacturing group, your facility. It can also bleed into other parts of the group, like, you know, other parts of the company, like R&D and things like that, shipping, QC. It's how you makes your life easier and makes things cleaner. 5S is another thing we talk about a lot. And the 5S is sort, sustain, set in order, safety, and I forgot the other one. Shine was the easiest one, right? So you have the 5S's. That's the standardization of keeping the facility clean and in order, and then not just taking a broom and sweeping something. That's not what it's about. It's about how to make the steps easier to do your processes, how to grab a tool without digging through a toolbox and things like that, how to organize things. So it's just not about grabbing a broom or a mop, and people freak out the first time they hear, well, no, we're going to do this cleaning process now every day. It's not about that. So they sustain that, and that's their life every day. So it makes their jobs easier, and it makes us look better when a customer comes in and sees the programs. We've had one of our biggest customers come in, and one of the guys, I remember him saying, I'm building a shop right now. I'm going to do this in my shop. He was so impressed with what we did here. He's like, I'm going to do this in my own home. So
something else about manufacturing too that I think's changed over the years is different companies help each other, and we've done a lot here at Brewer to go out and benchmark other companies. We've had other companies come in and benchmark us, and every time we do that, we learn a different technique, something else that can help us make us better. It's especially with our lean program, or you know, we find all kinds of extra tools. But the thing about it is, we go into a company. We went to a company that they're an apparel company where they actually basically they do a lot of screen printing. It was not a high tech job, but lots of volume. They really cranked the stuff out the door, and we were able to learn how we could apply what we do here with what they're doing there. And we actually brought people that our teams, our work teams, we sent them to that company, and they sent their work teams into our company, and it was a real good learning experience for us. And we've done that. We've gone to places that make heating and air conditioning systems, and wow, was that something that they were really really into the lean techniques and stuff that were more advanced than ours. But I got to tell you, any more today, I really think that we've really become the team, the place you want to benchmark. We've really raised the bar around here. We're not doing things like we did it 4 years ago. We keep looking to get better and better all the time. So you constantly, it's a learning. So you're learning every day. It's not like you're, oh, I got to go to work. It kind of, you kind of look forward to going to work. It's I don't know. It's we say learning organization, right? But I mean, it really is. It truly is here.
And I guess the last thing I'd like to say is, don't be afraid to encourage the young generation to get out there. And I know people try to push these big colleges and stuff, but just for example, I lived it with my oldest son. Graduated from a technical school and is probably making way more money than I ever thought about starting out making when I started the career. It's out there. There's a lot of jobs, and probably now more than ever before, there's a lot of openings out there. So get good at what you like and just do it.
Well, I think what you've seen, locally and across, the nation and the world is what's happened in the last year and a half, 2 years, is the supply line issues that we've ran into. I think that's put a huge emphasis on manufacturing. And the last several years, there was a big push of move all this manufacturing out of the United States. Now that's really turned around to bring as much of that back in as we can, and not just bring it back in the same old format. It's got to come back in. It's got to have the quality with it. A lot of these things, like we talked about with lean, those continuous improvements, the empowerment to that individual who's on that production line or running that piece of equipment to actually help improve that process and learn about that process and make it better. That's really what companies are seeing as that wave of the future. And it isn't necessarily the guy the engineers walking around with a big college degree who are making a lot of those big impacts. What we've seen at our company and at a lot of these benchmarks, it's those individuals on the line who are touching that piece of equipment every day. They can tell you when it's running right, when it's not, when it's starting to go bad. And tapping into that knowledge moving forward is going to be what really makes bringing all these manufacturing jobs back into the U.S. I think really successful.
I know manufacturing kind of gets tabbed as a boring career, a dead end street. But I went to high school, went to college at Central Missouri State in Warrensburg, and so these two little bitty Missouri towns, and I got to go to work here. And while I'm working here, as I moved into different jobs, I got to see most of Europe. I got to go to Japan. I got to go to China. One day I made a presentation in China, and the chief operations officer for one of the biggest semiconductor companies in the world was in the room. And I didn't think he was going to be there. I was like, oh boy, here it is. Here's your final exam. But it went great, and everything went really smooth, and everything was done. I was like, wow. And I came back to the company, and I had a one-on-one with Dr. Brewer in his office, and I told him about who was in the room and how everything went off, and it really went off good and everything. And he just smiled and he looked at me and he said, did you ever think when you were growing up, when you were going to Rolla High School, that one day you'd be all the way around the world making a presentation to a COO of a Fortune 50 company? And I was like, nope. And I said, either did any of my teachers, to be honest with you. And he looked at me and goes, pretty cool, isn't it? And what I'm saying is that it's endless. What you can do in manufacturing, it's absolutely endless what you can do. It's not a dead end street. There's just so many things you could do with it. I just wanted to throw that out in there too.
Does anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah, I've been in manufacturing environment my entire career, which is pushing 30 years now. And I've been afforded opportunities to do many things, different areas, like Mike said. I've visited different companies, got to travel, see lots of things. And I've never been disappointed with my career choice. The satisfaction I get from making something work, fixing something, and all the different things I've been able to do has just been gratifying, and never been upset with my choice one day in my career.